Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be going through all the Spider-Man reveals from today. There was a huge debut stream that went on for an hour. I woke up early to make sure I recorded a video for you guys so that way you can get them all straight away. There's a whole bunch of new cards, bonus sheet, awesome stuff, secret lair and stuff. There's a lot to go through. I'm going to be going through it quickly for you guys as well. And I realize this set is controversial, but try and keep it civil down below, whether you like it or not. That's fine, but just keep it civil. Before we do go, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you share the video and all that kind of stuff. We're trying to hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We've got instant speed news. This literally finished just that second, and I'm starting to record straight away for you guys. So yeah, and you never know if the YouTube algorithm's going to throw my videos away and you never get to see them again. So make sure you subscribe. So, first of all, we've got the draft archetypes. We've got Selesnya is web slinging. It's all based around like the different spider people and everything, bouncing stuff back to your hand. There's some leave the battlefield effects and stuff. We've got Azorius, which is modified, whether that's +1/+1 counters or equipment and auras, so buffing up your creatures and everything. Demir is around your villains, your conniving, and your graveyard, so playing with your graveyard. Conniving, which is drawing cards then discarding cards. Gruul is cast mana value 4+, and you get some different stuff based off of that, like this Rhino here. And then finally, we've got Rakdos, which is Mayhem, which is a new mechanic around discarding and then being able to cast things from the graveyard that you've discarded this turn. And then also just, straight up discard synergies there. So let's go through them. First of all, we've got Eddie Brock, who is a flip commander. On one side, it's Eddie Brock. When he enters, return target creature card with mana value 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then you can pay 3 and Jund, so red, green, black, to flip him over, transform him. Or you can just cast him on this side as well. On his other side, he is Venom, the lethal protector. He's got Menace, Trample, Haste. Whenever he attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do draw cards, draw X cards, then you may put a permanent card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, where X is the sacrificed creature's mana value. I am 100% building this for my stepson because he will love it. It's also, he's got hero and villain tags because he's like the anti-hero stuff. It's really cool. There's some alt arts for it as well. This one here, which is the comic book art. This is going to be exclusive to the collector boosters, unfortunately, but it's really cool. It looks really nice. And then we've got this one here, which is that one's the comic book cover. This is the comic book art, which is the, just straight up panels from the comic book, and looks really great. I love the text and stuff on these ones. We've got Norman Osborn and Green Goblin. We've already seen the Green Goblin, talked about him a lot, but on the other side, he is going to be Norman Osborn. Similar to the Eddie, you can play him as Norman and then flip him, or you can just play him as Green Goblin. He can't be blocked as Norman, and then when he deals combat damage to a player, he's going to connive, so you get to draw a card, discard, put +1 counters onto him, and then you transform him. This is probably the only one, although Eddie's not too bad on his front side as well. But Norman definitely is a card that you could easily play on his front side, attack, connive, then spend that turn to transform him, and then be able to cast whatever you've just discarded then as well. We've got the other art, the comic book art here for Norman and Green Goblin. Classic comic art is, yep, that is a face of Norman's. Then we've got Behold the Sinister Six. So going through some more villains here. Behold the Sinister Six is a new reanimation spell. Return up to 6 target creature cards with different names from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then this one here was the PAX West promo for that. Vulture, Scheming Scavenger, 5 and either blue or black. When he's got flying, and then when he attacks, other villains you control get flying until end of turn. Mysterio, Master of Illusion. When he enters, you're going to create a 3/3 blue villain illusion creature token for each non-token villain you control and exile them. I kind of wish that this created clones and stuff, but it's just going to flood your board with a huge amount of villains potentially if you've got a villain-based deck, I guess. We've got Sandman, Shifting Scoundrel here. 1 and then 2 green. When his power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control. He can't be blocked by creatures, power 2 or less. And then he's got 3 and 2 green. Return him and target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. So you get to kind of reanimate him. That's going to be great in my Yuma deck. We've got Electro Assaulting Battery, 1 and 2 red, flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you add red mana. And then when he leaves the battlefield, you can pay X. And then when you do, you deal X damage to target player. In a world where it's already being dominated by Vivi in Standard, this is going to be absolutely bonkers. This is going to potentially replace like Bergie in a whole bunch of decks, the ones that are like just using Bergie for the mana and stuff. Got Craven the Hunter, finally, for rounding out the Sinister Six here. Human Warrior Villain. Trample, whenever a creature an opponent controls with the greatest power among creatures that player controls dies. Draw a card and then put a +1/+1 counter onto Craven the Hunter. So definitely going to be like a, singling out, targeting creatures. And then really going to be great for like a fight spell deck, I reckon. We've got Spider-Man India here. So he's got web slinging. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains flying until end of turn. So buffing up your creatures, giving them flying. Notably because Spider-Man India is really interesting in the way that he's got his web slingers, but then he's also got the bangles that he uses alongside the web slinging. With great power is a new aura that gives enchanted creature +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it, and then all damage that would be dealt to you is instead dealt to that creature. Got Costume Closet. When it enters, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. You can also then tap it to move a +1/+1 counter from it onto a target creature you control. And then whenever a modified creature you control leaves the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter onto this artifact. A poor man's kind of Ozolith, I guess. You get to move the +1 things on it, so you get that modified buffs potentially straight away, but it's not going to be great compared to like the Ozolith or something like that. City Pigeon, so this one here is one that has that leave the battlefield effect, so it bounces it back to your hand. It's got flying, and then when it leaves the battlefield, create a food token, so you want to use this alongside like web slinging and stuff. Spider Suit, equipped creature, gets +2/+2 and is a spider hero in addition to its other types. So you can turn anyone into Spider-Man, which I guess is a really great thing from the Spider-Man comics, is that it was kind of like anyone can be a superhero, which is, yeah, you can literally turn anyone into a superhero with this. Prowler, Clawed Thief. Now, I don't know which version of Prowler this is, if it's the Ultimate version or the main universe version. I think it's the Ultimate version. Which is Aaron Davis, which is Miles Morales' uncle here. He's got Menace. Whenever another villain you control enters, he connives. Rhino, Barreling Brute. He's got 3, 2 red, 2 green. Vigilance, Trample, Haste. Whenever he attacks, if you've cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater this turn, draw a card. I'm probably going to build this for my my 7-year-old's first commander deck, because Rhino is just this is a really fun deck card, and I reckon he will love it. We've got Raging Goblinoids. It's got Haste and then Mayhem, 2 and a red. So one thing with Mayhem is that most likely most of their Mayhem costs are going to be cheaper than casting them like outright, because it's just like, an extra benefit from having discarded and everything. And then we've got the Ultimate Green Goblin. So this one here is the promo version that you'll get from going and playing a draft event and Era LGS. You need to be undefeated in it, apparently, which will be interesting to see how that goes. And he's got, at the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card and then create a treasure token. So this is the ultimate version of Green Goblin from the Ultimate Universe with Miles Morales and stuff. The old Ultimate Universe, not the new one. We've got the Clone Saga, which I think everyone kind of expected to happen. It's got 1, Surveil 3. When you cast a creature spell this turn, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. And then you can choose a card name. Whenever a creature with chosen card name deals combat damage to a player this turn, draw a card. And then we've got the kind of borderless Clone Saga over here, which is... I love these because they've got like the 3 different like sections of it showing like the actual different parts of the story too. These here are a series of different like covers, kind of like, how they do variant covers and stuff. It's just different art and everything. They did that for the Spectacular Spider-Man in the set, and I'll confirm that yes, they are going to be collector exclusive, which kind of sucks, I guess, but they're also got these special textured foils as well. And then if you are at PAX West, you can get the exclusive comic for it as well, which is the Bombastic Bagman comic. And then I think they said you get the card too. Into the bonus sheet here, this is a series of 40 cards that are all going to be reprinted, reprints of existing Magic the Gathering cards, but with comic book art. And yes, that article did go live shortly after I recorded the video, and now I'm editing. It is going to be 1 in 24 play boosters. Oh god, 1 in 24 play boosters. You're going to be finding one of these cards from the bonus sheet. So let's go through that. Relentless Assault. This one was showed off prior to this stream. I love this art. I love this card. It's a really great reprint and I absolutely love it. I will say before I get into the rest of them, I'm not a huge fan of these, but that's because I'm not a huge fan of the original comic book art, which is probably blasphemy for a lot of people. But I don't know. To me, I prefer like the cleaner kind of modern art that they've got. We've got heroic intervention here as like the kind of, you know, classic comic book art for Spidey with him on the cover saving the dude. We've got Path to Exile here, which is amazing. I do love the fact that like they've got these cards that like they show off key points from the comics, but just re-skinned as like magic cards that suit them really well, like the Path to Exile here. And one that doesn't do very well is this Doc Ock Armed and Dangerous. They reskinned him as an octopus. Lorthos the Tidemaker there. We've got Shock, which is... Okay, so this is a mythic, first of all. Are these all mythics? I think they're all mythics. A mythic Shock, but Shock's also already reprinted in the actual set, or within the welcome deck, I think. So yeah, this is, I don't know, it's good art and stuff, but yeah, I'm not going to be a big fan if I pull one into that. We've got the Reanimate here, however. This one's great, from Craven Last Hunt, with Spidey unburying alive him. And I really thought this one was going to be buried alive, because, you know, that makes sense. We've got Arachnogenesis here with the classic Todd McFarlane art, making it so that you create a whole bunch of spiders and everything. Lastly, we've got the Venom King in Black here, showing up as Skithrix the Blight Dragon, I guess because, you know, he's a dragon and stuff like that. He's going to show up like this. We've got Flying Infect. He's gaining haste and gaining venom, so I guess he's like insect and venom is kind of makes sense. I mean, infect and venom kind of makes sense and everything. And then finally, as well, alongside here, we're going to have a secret lair. They've shown off one secret lair, which is going to be these Daily Bugle ones. I absolutely love these. I think that they are so thematic. The cards that they've chosen, like for example, Fact or Fiction, Spidey good for the city. We've got Blasphemous Act here, Daily Bugle under attack. It's just done so well as, like, you know, they're meant to be, you know, Daily Bugle. They're obviously, you know, painting Spidey in the worst of light. Scheming Symmetry here is just, yeah, I really love these. These are really great. But I'd love to hear from you guys as to what you think about all of this. I hope you guys had a great day, and goodbye.